Welcome to MDIHub Tech Talk, where we are discussing everything digital and everything technological. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are celebrating International Women in ICT Day. And what's a better way than to be sitting next to someone who lives and imbibes this mission on a daily basis. Today, we are joined by Reba, who is a center manager at MDIHub, and she'll be giving us a light into her life as an ICT manager and her journey, her wins, and whatever walls she's had to overcome. So, if you're someone interested in ICT or technology and innovation, this is the right place for you, and welcome in. Hi, Reba.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And yourself?
I'm all right. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you in today. So let's just dive into it. So please tell us about your journey in ICT. Where did it begin? And how is it going for you as a lady?
Okay, my journey in ICT, I don't think it has always been just about ICT. It was more on accessibility and opportunities. I'm saying that because I am from a space where young people they have talent, but they don't have access or the exposure to resources. So in my journey, when I came across ICT, at one point I thought it was just about coding and systems, but then I came to realize that it's about solving real world problems, and it's a tool that you can use to open different doors. Also, at the same time, my journey was a bit more intentional because I actually didn't start in ICT. I started in M6 in electrical engineering from Daleto TVET College. And from there, after completing, I sat down and asked myself, what would a career that is in demand and is sustainable would look like in the future? And then I actually came across a book. Funny enough, I made my career choice based on a book.
Really?
Yeah, it was called Program or Be Programmed. So what it made me realize was that in a digital world, it's either you are creating technology or you are being shaped by it. So
Powerful.
that's how it actually came about. And then I decided to go and study computer science. And after completing my degree, before completing my degree, I actually came across Mafikeng Digital Innovation Hub in my second year. They were hosting a Women in STEMI program. It was a workshop for a day. And then during that workshop, Commissioner Ndaba had said, if you have an idea and you feel like it would change the world someday, come to me, come pitch to me, and maybe I'll help you make that dream into a reality. So out of the blue, I just came up with this idea that I didn't even have an idea if it's going to work or not. And then he liked it. From there, I joined the incubation. I was there for a year or so, but because of school, I had to abandon the idea, which was somewhat not a good idea, but because I managed to complete my studies, then I guess it was not all bad. And then fast forward a few years later, I'm managing the same place. So yeah.
Wow, beautiful. Okay, so let's speak to young graduates or interns who are already in this ICT space, right? What would you say are core skills that they should master in order to upskill themselves and find themselves where you are at your career?
Okay. I don't think the skills would necessarily be master software development or master data analytics if that's what you're doing, because you already studied that at university or at college. So for you to be able to make it and survive in the ICT space in the real world where you get to work, I think what you need to have is curiosity and be adaptable, because ICT is a fast changing work environment. You never know what to expect. Technology is evolving each and every single day. So if you are curious It means you'll always be up to date with the tech trends. You'll always be up to date with what is expected from you for you to be able to get the job done. And at the same time, if you are adaptable, it means you will not only focus on what you did at school. For example, if coding is the only thing that you know, that would be bad for you. So if you are adaptable, it means you can do a lot of different things, and no matter what happens, you're not going to lose your job because you can do 10 things at the same time. So yeah, I think that's what you need.
Okay, so do you think this is something employers look for in people, or it's something that just the space is calling for?
I think both, actually, because we spoke about AI earlier on.
Yeah.
And the advantage with AI is that it is adaptable.
Yeah.
It can get a lot of things done.
Very.
So you as a person, if you can get a lot of things done, you would have an advantage over any other person. If you can code, if you know cybersecurity at the same time, because they go together, it's like a development security operations type of thing. You do not only know one skill, you know multiple skills. So it's easier for you to keep in a job because you can move from one thing to the next.
Yeah.
So you get a lot covered.
Okay. Okay. So with this fourth industrial revolution, things are changing. What would you say are the most common misconceptions or myths that people are saying about your space?
At the top of the list, it's definitely that artificial intelligence is here to replace us, and that it's going to take our jobs. In some cases, it's true, yes, but it depends on what are you doing. So my advice would be, in a space where technology and change is inevitable, you need to place yourself. You need to find a space where you can fit in, where you can somehow be irreplaceable in a way. But the advantage also for us humans versus AI is that it does not have the emotions. It doesn't have the ability to think on its own. It still needs people to train it. It still needs people to build it. So if you find yourself in spaces where you get to create the technology, I think you will be safe. And also at the same time, what would help maybe curb the misconception would be upskilling yourself regardless of what industry are you in. Whether you're in a tech space or not, learn technology. Learn how to use AI to improve your job, maybe to improve productivity and such things, and then we will be safe then. You don't have anything to worry about.
Okay, okay, that's good. Okay, so you speak about AI. So AI is in the space, but it's not taking jobs, you say. It's allowing for creativity in the
Yes.
space.
Yeah, that's basically what it's doing. So instead of being afraid of AI, you need to learn AI, how to build AI and how to use AI to make your job a bit more easier. In majority of the cases, it's meant to be like a productivity tool. It's meant to improve convenience. It's meant to help you not work hard but smart. So you don't have to necessarily compete with AI. You need to find a way to work together with AI.
All right, excellent. I like that. So, for a young girl out there in the rurals, has no idea about this, but she just clicked on this video and she's liking what she's seeing. What are the practical steps for her to find herself being the next you one day, being in this ICT space?
I think the good thing is I've been where they are. So my advice would be start exactly where you are, start with what you have, start now. You can even start by learning the basics of digital skills. You can even do it from your phone if that's the only resource that you have access to. And at the same time, I would say that you need to join programs. If there are digital skills training in your area, maybe in a village that you live in, even if it's a once-off thing, join that program. You have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing is to start instead of waiting for things to reach you, for things to come to you. And at the same time, luckily we have spaces such as Mafeking Digital Innovation Hub. So if you need more information, if you need a mentor, you need career advice, you can come to a hub just like ours, and you can get help regardless of the resources. I think what it would cost you as someone who comes from a village where there's no internet connectivity would be taking a taxi to get to Mafeking Digital Innovation Hub.
Yeah.
So if you have such an opportunity, just take advantage of it, then you'll be good.
All right, great. So you mentioned that the hub also does a few things for the people. So what kind of projects or mentorship is the hub offering to people out there or young people?
Okay. We have business development, business enterprise development. That's where, as a startup or someone who has an idea to start a business, you would get mentorship, advice in terms of how to polish up your idea, how to apply for resources and funding, and where to find those resources that you need. And at the same time, we have youth development, and we do that through skills development programs where we would work with CETAs, and then we would have to recruit, place students or graduates into different programs. The intention being, you might find that a lot of graduates, they graduate, but they don't have access to training after graduation, and it opens up a gap between what you learned in school and what the industry expects. So the intention is to try and close that gap. And so far, I think the impact has been very good, and I think we're gonna continue because it's the only mentorship that I think we need now as the youth of this country, because unemployment is a problem. So someone needs to step in and intervene, and I think so far so good.
Okay. It's an interesting answer. I wasn't expecting for you to highlight things like competitions or something like that. But I thought you'd be coding and doing those kind of things. So just give me a heads up. So as a woman in ICT for quite a while, what do you think are the common challenges that women in ICT are facing in the corporate world?
Okay, there's quite a few, but in my experience, I think the one that I've had to maybe deal with or learn to adjust was always being surrounded by men. The industry, we as women are trying to catch up, but not at that fast rate that we would like. So I always, especially being in a leadership position, I always find myself in a space where I'm just the only woman. It's somehow a good and bad thing, because I'd be sitting there asking myself, where are the females? Why am I the only person in this room? But at the same time, it's a sign that women empowerment, we are trying in that space. And another challenge is that as women, we are mostly overlooked or undermined. It's like we are in the space of tech, yes, but it's a question of, are we able to do the work the way that men can? And the answer is yes, we can. We can even do it better, because we have that nurturing side of being a woman, so we can bring that into the same space. So yeah.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah. Great. So you mentioned hackathons, competitions. I mean, I'm a competitive guy, so I would look into that as well. But I mean, elaborate for girls out there. What are any other trends or opportunities that young women can find themselves into so they can get into the ICT space?
Okay. The good thing about tech is that it's not just about coding, and that's what most people always think about when you think about hackathons, when you think about technology in a nutshell. But there are also exciting spaces in artificial intelligence. There are opportunities in cybersecurity, in data analytics. And I think the most powerful thing now for women It's that accessibility has improved. So you are no longer required to have like traditional tech experience in order for you to be in such spaces. What you need is to have the skill, have the curiosity, be consistent in what you do, and most importantly, I think as women, we need to stop waiting for someone to come create opportunities for us. We need to start stepping up and creating these opportunities. Otherwise, we are going to wait for a very long time.
We've seen that women have been endorsed to take part in ICT, and women are now in 2026 being invited to join the table. But now we're seeing a shift from women just being invited to actually building the table. So can you explain to us your shift since being a manager now, from being a participant in ICT to being a decision maker at this point?
I think first thing that I would like to say is we as women, we don't need to wait for an invitation to come have a seat at a table that's already been made. But instead, we need to start building tables for ourselves and build opportunities for other people. And that's what I've had an opportunity to do as a center manager. I've seen a very clear shift in my career, and with that, I've had an opportunity to not just be a participant in the ICT space, but I get to make strategic decisions. I get to decide on what should exist and who do we bring along and what would work best for the environment that I work in. And also, what I love the most is the impact that I get to make. And it's not just at the level of our center as African Digital Innovation Hub. I also get to contribute to making strategic decisions countrywide. I get to play a role in changing people's lives as far as KZN, Eastern Cape, for example. So I think that's what's important. And as women, we need to basically start making a step forward, moving and not waiting for opportunities to be brought to us. Let's build the table and then invite others to come sit at the same table.
Wow, amazing, amazing. I mean, you're the reason we're going to be seeing more women into the space.
Thank
and
you.
as you leading, I mean, if I was a girl right now, I'd be joining ICT.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing with us today. How can we get in touch with the hub?
You can get in touch with us through different social media platforms. You can find us on Facebook at African Digital Innovation Hub, on Instagram at MDIHub, and it's the same handle on TikTok. So always be on the lookout because that's where we post about what we do and the opportunities that we have for the youth. So don't miss out. Always be on social media.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. That's it, guys.
Thank you for having me.
That is it from Ariba, our center manager at MDIHub. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for more technology talks and sharing more inspirational stories and success stories from women like her who have walked the path and are walking the path and creating opportunities for young people like you out there. So stay tuned, press the like button, press the share button, subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. TED Talks. Voila.